What's up, everybody? It's Clay from Liberty Physical. Today, let's talk about Fringe Sports Mammoth Belt Squat. Before we jump into the product, let's talk about the belt squat as a tool. Squatting is an excellent tool to build size and strength of the legs, and honestly, everybody should probably be doing some form of squats in their exercise routine. However, what people don't quite realize is the effect of the axial load that the bar on your back can have on your training. The belt squat takes that load off of your back, so there's no axial loading. Without any spinal compression, centrally you are much less fatigued than you are after squatting with a bar on your back, or really even holding it up in front of you like a goblet squat. With the weight being centered on your hips during a belt squat, you can really focus on getting the most intensity out of your leg training without the systemic effect or systemic fatigue that placing a bar above your spine does. All right, let's talk about the assembly process on this bad boy. There's really not that many parts, but the instructions they provided were not great, leaving me a little bit frustrated at first, honestly, especially when I was trying to use their included spanner wrenches, which is typical, but I was not having a good time. Then, in the bottom of the box, I realized there was a QR code or some sort of link to a video, and the video was excellent. Fringe Sport is really doing good in this space, with their assembly process being a video rather than written instructions. One thing to take note when you assemble this is this unit can actually work on a 3x3 rack like I've got here, or a 2x2 or 2x3. And the way that changes is they provide different spacers right here. This bar right here can rotate 90 degrees, making it thinner, allowing it to hook onto a 2-inch rack. With regular use by myself and all of my clients, the belt squat has held up very, very good for the 6 months I've had it now. As far as durability goes, you're not gonna have an issue with this. It's made out of a thick gauge steel and it's gonna last. However, that does bring up another subject about the belt squat, and that's the kickstand. The kickstand is a big reason this is such a great unit. However, it feels a little bit like an afterthought and is kind of flimsy. In fact, usually with a client using it, I stand next to it and kick the kickstand out of the way. That way they don't stand up with the weight and spend 30 seconds trying to get this to flip out of the way. Other than the kickstand, there's one other area that I really feel sets this product apart from other belt squats in the market. Look how long this is. So when you think about the size of a circle, the bigger the circle, the more straight down or perpendicular to the floor the edges are. What that means is that this lever is going to be more true of a straight down descent than others on the market that are shorter. That being said, as you can see with all these holes, this is a very modular unit, and it can actually be shortened if you're short on space, or if you want to use it for another accessory like maybe a leg extension. The side loading is probably a better option than the single vertical horn that I've got, because as you may have seen in some of the other videos, it was maxed out with 4 bumper plates. That being said, the weight capacity is far more than 4 bumper plates. Although only 4 bumpers can fit on this post, if you have 2, all of a sudden that's 8. And if you have iron plates, you can really fit maybe 3 times as many, depending on how thin your plates are that you're using, which ones you pick. One thing about home gym equipment is that if you can only do one thing, you probably don't want to buy it. Most people are working out of a 1 or 2 car garage, and the space is very limited. So would you or should you spend your money on a belt squat like this? Well, first of all, it can be used in multiple different ways. But also you can hook a handle from a cable machine or really any attachment to this eye hook and hit rows with it, even hit some biceps with it, which we all love. And another cool thing is with Fringe Sports wall attachment, if you were to hook that to a rack and throw some leg rollers on this, you can use it as a pretty good leg extension too. All right, so how do you store this thing? Well, because of its simple one-post design, it can really be put anywhere. Let me show you where I put mine. Literally on the ground in the front of my garage. It takes up literally no space. It actually fits kind of perfect where my horse stall mat ends. I just fit in that little gap. Takes up no extra room. Overall, I give this Mammoth belt squat an 8 out of 10. It's an awesome training tool for the legs, and honestly, most garage gyms don't have room for any other leg training equipment. Yeah, a leg press would be awesome, but that takes up the size of a golf cart, and leg extensions become so expensive. For like 300 bucks or sometimes even less with their sales, you can get an awesome way to train the legs without blowing up your back as well. So I really recommend it. The reason it doesn't get a higher rating is because it can be hard to get enough weight on there if you've been strength training for a while. And the kickstand, although it's really a necessary thing, it could be done better, and it seems a little sketchy for people that aren't familiar with it.